All right, so I've run my email newsletter, my local media brand, for over 12 years. I've tried every tool there is. I've tried 47, 50, 60 different tools over the years. You don't have to do all that. I'm just gonna give you what I think is the basic tech stack that you need to get started, and then you can build from there. All right, so there's 4 kind of core tools that I think you're really gonna need just for the basics to get your brand. You're gonna need an email platform, an email sender. Who do you choose? There's a lot of homework. There's a lot of research you can do. There's a lot of great ones out there. I have moved from multiple senders, from MailChimp to ConvertKit, now Kit, now to Beehive, who I've been with for the past 3 years. And I think I will continue with them because they are on the leading edge of what they're doing. What's cool about them is that not only are they an email sender, but they can also be your website as well. That's something that just didn't happen before. There were 2 separate things. For example, here's our WordPress website that you can see. We have an Beehive embed form for people to sign up. But what's interesting is that this is our Beehive website, and we can design it. I have not really built it out in a wild way, like in an in-depth way, but every time that we put out an email newsletter, it lives on the internet. It's live on their website, which is a really, really cool thing. And I think it's pretty neat. I'll give you a link. I actually have a discount link where you can get, yep, I see you get a discount here if you use my link. So I'll make sure to leave one if it's what you want to test out, if you want to try them out. My second tool that I'm giving you is WordPress. I still think that this can be an important piece. Even though Beehive can do everything in one platform, you could start a website, a WordPress blog as well. Here's one of the reasons why. For example, as you can see, I have advertising on our site. Let me pull up an article for you here. Sorry. So here's a blog post. And you'll see as I start to read this, ads start to form. Here's an ad here, an ad at the bottom, an ad here. The only way to do this is through an advertising platform. Like, for example, in this case, it's Mediavine. And the only way to do that is to get a certain amount of traffic and qualify. Now, I'll go ahead and give you a side note of kind of advanced information if you're thinking like, yeah, I don't really need that. Well, in today's world on social media platforms, you're able to actually, if you can grow an audience there, you're able to drive traffic back to websites. And I know people making tens of thousands of dollars from ad revenue from social media traffic. So that's just something to keep in mind as you're launching. All right, next up is your design stack. I use Canva plus AI tools to design items. I use Canva all day, every day. I've used it for 6 or 7 years. You can just literally look here. Here's a guidebook that I created, designed in Canva. I won't open everything up here. Let's see. A guidebook, YouTube thumbnails. Perfect example of AI here, actually, in these thumbnails. So, like, I have this Google G, and then I use Nano Banana. If you haven't heard of that, it's inside of Gemini. Is their image editing tool. So you can take an image, throw it in there. So try Nano Banana. You can take an image, toss in your image, and tell it what to do, and it can make adjustments to your image. It's amazing. It's what allowed this G to get shattered here. And then I brought the image back into Canva, added a game over overlay on it. So like I'm using Canva and AI tools to like intermingle and make a lot of stuff. Here's a media kit. Here's a silent disco item. Here's images we made for our mayor race. That was pretty funny. Thought that was good. Okay, I use it all day, every day. So Canva plus AI tools, important part of your tech stack. If you have questions about what AI tools that I'm using, feel free to comment down below, ask me. I'm happy to try to respond and answer those. This is probably a perfect time to tell you about, we have a private community for local media creators, for local newsletters creators that share ideas, that they collaborate. You can ask people questions. It's a private Discord group. I'll make sure to add a link if you want to look into joining that, and hope to see you in there. All right, finally, this is one that you're going to want to set up at the beginning. You can kind of forget about it for a while, but it's great to be collecting data, and that's Google Analytics. You want to be able to add this to your website to be able to start collecting data, understand what traffic there is, where it comes from. I will say Google is the dashboard's pretty horrific for analytics. I'm actually creating a software tool that's an easier to understand dashboard. Total separate story. We're not going to get there now. Just make sure you're connected with me if you want to learn about all these projects and these things that I'm working on. All right, let's keep going. All right, let's talk a little bit about your social media stack, and then I'll hit you with some of the bonus tools that I can talk about as well. And this will, at the end of all this, will make up your core stack that you're going to need. Don't worry about everything else for now. Just keep going with what I'm talking about. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. There's so many avenues, right? I didn't even mention X or other threads or whatever. So many different platforms that you can choose from. For local media, first of all, choose what's going to play to your strengths. If you're better at writing, stick with Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. If you're good with video content, maybe TikTok, obviously, but pick two. Don't try to be on everything. Now go ahead, you can go ahead and secure your name. Go ahead and secure your name on any of these platforms if you can. That's a smart thing to do. But don't try to consistently create on all these platforms unless you have a system in place, because you're going to get swamped, you're going to get lost, and it's worse to not have activity on your page, in my opinion, than it is to just not have that page. Facebook and Instagram would be my recommendations on where to start in your local community, but pick two. All right, events and how to choose those events, how to organize those, how to roll through those faster. This has been a problem. Like, we've done it over the 12 years. We've done it a multitude of ways. We've done everything manually, where we just search all of the event calendars and choose our own top 12. We've used, I'll give you two potential tools. This is something I'm also looking to build our own version, but I'll give you a couple of great options. Neither one of these are free. If you have a WordPress website, remember me talking about that already, so you could get this plugin, and their plugin has a cost every year, so it's a calendar plugin, a very good plugin. It's pretty cool. There is a free version, which I actually forgot about, but I've had the pro version. I don't remember. You can compare, but you'll see that the value in the pro version probably makes sense rather than just having the free one. But to get started, it's not a bad idea, right? So it's fine. It's a way to get started. Then this past year, I upgraded to this company called CitySpark. And what this company does is they pull a bunch of calendars from our area, like within an hour of where we live, and they scrape all the data and they pull it into a database, and it automatically, for the most part, automatically comes into our calendar. So at least I could show you the calendar. Probably would help if I knew where the calendar was. Okay. So this calendar, the majority of these events are pulled in from CitySpark. And we can still have ads running on this page. We can still do paid promotions for companies or whatever. There's pros and cons with this calendar, and it's something that I'm looking and really exploring on, possibly building my own solution for as well. But with AI and tools and software, it's getting easier to be able to build custom solutions. But just start with those big main four, and you'll be good. I'm gonna go back to my silent disco party. Story for another day. Silent discos. It's one of the reasons why you should start a local newsletter. You can produce them. See ya.